Hey everybody, this is Shake and Bake. We're back in Hurt World for tutorial number 2, and this is going to be on base building. If you didn't know, there's actually weather effects in Hurt World. Right now we got a sandstorm blowing through. They've also got rainstorms now. It's pretty epic. But this is all about building your base. Now this is my 4th base, and I've just learned by trial and error kind of how to come up with something I think that's going to work. I'm happy with this one. I call this one Fort Knox, and you're going to see why here in a minute. But basically, when you start out, if you haven't, watch my tutorial, number 1, on getting started. And then once you're ready to do a base, then you can kind of follow this, and this may help you. There's different ways to do your base, obviously, but I'm just going to share with you what I know so far. And again, it may be helpful, it may not be. So, all right, so basically to build a base, you've got to have a totem. Well, you should. You can build a base, but if you don't put a totem down and claim your land, and this is it right here. I'll show you under Tools right here, this ownership stake it's called. You're going to need a amber, which you can find by basically looking for resources, rocks and logs. You're going to need 10 clay, and I'll show you which rock you can get that from, and 30 wood. Once you have that, okay, you need that, then you can claim your spot. Now, here's something that's really important to know. All right, you're also going to have to make this hammer, this basically building hammer right here I've got. And to make that, you're going to need a construction hammer, 1 amber, you're going to need some shaped iron, which you're going to get from ore, 20 wood, and some leather, which you'll get from animals. All right, so you're going to need the hammer, you're going to need the claim. I call it the totem. You call it whatever you want. And then here's the critical thing. There's a couple. But first is location, location, location. I cannot emphasize that enough, because you really got to put yourself in the mind of those coming to attack or take your goods, because it's bound to happen. So you really, really need to roam around and find that ideal spot. Now, I'm going to tell you why I picked the spot I'm in right now. Here's what I learned. Is you want to, in my opinion, you want to find a spot where it really limits their access to your base, basically, right? And so what I wanted to do is make it so that people have to try to come through that front area there. Because you got to think about how much time you want to spend gathering resources to build walls and foundations, because that took me a long time. I'm going to tell you right now. So you really got to think that through. And when you come up on a spot and you pull your hammer out, right, you'll see this. You see that those blue lines going around? Basically, you can't move those blue lines. Those blue lines are predetermined plots on the map that you can claim, right? So and they all touch each other. So here's this one. Now I move over here. Now this one lights up. So if you're going to find a spot, make sure that the spot you're going to pick, that the blue area is inside of it, that your area is inside this blue zone. And again, if I were to move over here to these rocks, it would change the blue zone. I could build up here. And before you put down your stake, your totem, your claim stake, whatever they call it, don't put it at the edge of your claim. You're going to want to put that somewhere in the middle, somewhere because you don't want the bad guys to get to that. You're going to want to hide that thing in there in the middle and protect it. Don't put it out on the edges. Okay, now, if you start building before you put in the totem, the claim stake, anyone could come along and just bust up your place and take whatever, right? So you need to have that in place, okay? So you put it in, put it towards the center, and make sure you build. Everything you build, you need to build inside those blue lines. And I would even leave a space around those blue lines, around the edge, in case someone tries to build next to you. Now, how you can get around that is you can do kind of what I did. So let's go to my base here real quick. So this is my claim area. Everything's built inside of it, right? But I'm going to start expanding out. Like this area over here is also mine right here. This is Shake's farm right here. And basically, I've claimed this area here. This is a great spot because nobody can get up here from the sides, okay? And eventually I'm going to claim all the areas around my middle area so that nobody can build next to my, basically where my loot is at, okay? All right, let's talk about another thing. The only thing currently in game that could take your place out is C4. That's it. Now, to make C4, though, it is not an easy feat. Let's go to weapons, C4. You need 50 ambers, not easy to get. That's ash is easy, but you need a detonator cap, which is you got to go inland to find one of those. The fat's easy, but the shaped mondinium and the shaped ultranium are also not easy to find and craft and yada, yada, yada. So it's not like a lot of people are going to have the C4, but they have it. And they can blow basically down a wall or door with that C4. So that's why you got to get your totem totally buried in your fort. And all your super valuable stuff, right? All the goodies here. I mean, all this stuff I got, the stuff you want to protect, you want to lock that stuff up behind as many doors and walls as you can. So you're going to create this layer effect, right? Not only horizontally, but vertically as well. And so, if a guy comes up, whoever comes up, and they blow this front wall right here thinking they're in, well, they got another wall to go to. Let's say they happen to have another C4. Now they got to blow through another. They're going to have a lot of C4. And if they got that much C4 to get in here, more power to them, they can have it. So, multiple walls and go 2 levels up. And the reason for that is I'm going to show you this right now. That's why I recommend building on a server that's not too crowded. Get off into a out of a sight area and spend your time building and get the base built first before you go out and gather a lot of the great loot so you actually can protect your loot. But here's what I want to show you. You got your hammer. How to build, right? You push your F key, and like this first one's destroy. I'm going to take this with me right here. But basically, you can destroy with that. Now, you don't keep the resources when you destroy a wall or anything, except for the items in game, right? If you push the F key, you basically just select like foundation, and it's real easy to snap this stuff in, wood wall, whole bunch of different stuff you can put in here. But you do have to have the resources. You do have to have the resources in your inventory to make those things. But once you do, you just snap them together. It's pretty easy. But you do have to have a foundation in place to put things on top of, just so you know that. However, when you go to plant your little farm, you won't be able to plant your farm, your fruit, on the cement. So leave some dirt exposed like I have over there, or plant a separate garden, whatever you're going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to show you something, why you need to build up double walls. You got people complaining about their places getting destroyed, whatever. Some of that C4, but also the thing you got to remember is people can come up with a table, with a crafting table, right, and use it basically as a way. Hold on, you can have some falling damage there. See, normally you couldn't get up that area, right? But now I just destroy it, and basically I'm carrying with me this ladder now. And you see what I did back here? I doubled up walls. It's because I know some people will get up here. So you got to check every area. I mean, every area, and think of how these people could get in there. So here's another thing. Let's get up here, and people could leapfrog your single level walls with the crafting table. That's why I've doubled all these up here, and even thought someone could jump across here and land over there, because I did it. So I had to build a wall. But so you have to think of every little sneaky way these guys or gals could get in there to take your hard-earned loot. Don't let them in. Really, really build up these outer walls. But don't just do one wall. Do at least another wall, and more if you can, because they're going to blow that outer wall, that outer area with that C4. And most people are not going to be carrying multiple C4s. Okay, now, what do you need to gather as far as materials to build? Okay, the big thing is right here. Look up in the mountainous kind of areas, up on the where the rocks are, and you're going to be gathering this limestone right here. Okay, so limestone. The other is wood. And the next you're going to need to get is stone. And you can get stone and coal out of like this this rock here, this color is kind of reddish and black. Usually they'll give you coal and rock. But there's another one, and we got us an amber, nice. But there's also another one that's going to give you stone as well. And you also can pick up stones off the ground. But they also, you're going to want to get, that's it. Well, if you want steel, well, actually the steel, if you want steel walls or the aluminum walls, or you're going to need the ore. This is the ore right here. If you want to make shaped ore, that's the iron ore right there. But you really only need wood to make walls, doors, and you need the stone and the limestone to make cement. I'm feeling like I'm being watched. And then you basically find an area with a lot of resources by there, so you can just run up and down, gather them, and build away. Another tip when you're running out here is, like, I've got stuff I'm going to go back, put away, but when I go out and venture out, I try to keep everything valuable in the base, to include resources. And I go out with just some fruit to keep me kind of fed while I'm looking. And that way, if you get ambushed, you're going to lose resources you gathered, but you'll keep your tools and clothing, but you won't lose the really good stuff. Always store that in your base. All right, let's get back inside Fort Knox here. Yeah, see, if someone, they're not going to get over this wall. They're not going to get around that corner. They're going to have to come through this wall, but guess what? Now you got another wall to go through, and guess what? You got another wall to go through, and guess what? You're going to have another wall to go through, and guess what? Another wall. So it just goes on and on and on, and that's what you want to do, in my opinion, is create that layered effect. It's going to make it really, really hard on those guys to get into your base and store your stuff and just build up a good reserve. Again, limestone and rock is what you're going to need for the foundation, wood for all the other stuff, and this is the shaped iron, which you're going to get out by cooking your iron ore. All right, let's put some other stuff away here real quick. All right, there we go. Let's put this over here, and let's close her up, lock her down. I got my fridge, my tables, little building area. Let's come out here, turn on my outdoor light, and that's it. I feel really good about this base. I mean, again, if they had a whole bunch of C4, they could eventually get in, but I don't think one C4 or even two is going to get them into Fort Knox. So I hope this, guys, has helped. Again, use that hammer, hit F key, make sure you got the resources crafted, and build away. Make sure you build inside the blue of your claim. I've got both of these, so I'm good on these. And try to get on a less populated server so you have enough time to get something secure put together. And at some point, I will get a roof over this as well. So that's basically it. I hope this, guys, has helped you. If you got any questions, post them below. Again, this is just what I've learned so far. Don't forget, location, 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 especially if you can get something like this going. Because ideally, I could move my stuff over here, my high-valued stuff, and when I'm over here, I can actually break this bridge away here, so nobody could even get over here. So when I'm out roaming, I could take this thing away, I could have my totem over here, and boom. And when I come back, I can rebuild, because I'm the only one that can build here. I could rebuild this bridge and be back over where all my goods are. So you really got to think this through so that you don't lose your stuff. Cheers, peace, guys. Appreciate the subs, appreciate the likes, and I'll see you in the gaming world.